blessings to you. My name is Jere B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are you. I do trust all as well. As you can see, I got my head back. I'm growing my beard back in. If you saw my last video, I kind of revealed a character that I was playing, and I want to talk about that particular situation and quickly segue that into what we're talking about today. And it is a very, very serious topic. It is obviously a very personal one, but I think it could be one of the most important topics that you and I as EntreMusicians can learn and appreciate and then implement into our own persona, our character, and just the way that we go through our careers. But before we do that, obviously, we always want to do this, and that is to turn you on to Vocal. As you know, all of our videos are sponsored by the great people at Vocal. Vocal is the only beverage on the planet designed to soothe, refresh, and restore your voice. If you talk all day or sing all night, you got to get yourself some Vocal. You absolutely have to do it. Go to drinkvocal.com to learn more. And I've said it, we're in the final seconds of the launching of the third iteration of this great product. And Vocal actually saved our voices when we were on the set for A Raisin in the Sun, which is the play that I was just in. Again, you can see the video previous to this one where I had to grow hair and shave my beard and cover up my rings. But I'm back and grateful. I want to just give some shout outs and accolades, if I can, very briefly, to the wonderful director Carla Gibson, set designer Martin Charles, stage manager Joyce Jones, the people at the Hopewell Theater, the board of trustees Sam Luptak and the crew there, and the wonderful cast. I was saying in the last video I didn't want to name any names because I knew I would forget somebody and whatnot. I'm going to take a stab at it today because this was an incredible ensemble cast that I was blessed to be a part of. I've learned so much from them, and there was a synergy and a chemistry that was just absolutely dynamic. And in no particular order, Josh Ford, Ezekiel, I don't remember your last name, Zeke, but Tayshawn Madison, Delmas Stubbs, Darion Brown, who played my son Travis, Ari Manigault, who played my wife Ruth, Kristen Cheatham, who played my sister Benitha. Of course, Carla played Mama. Monica Beasley Martin, who played Mrs. Johnson. DJ Davis, or Dwayne Davis, who played Asagai, and Sid Tashawn. So I mean, we had an incredible cast of people, and I'm really blessed to have worked with them. What I want to talk about today, Brandon McFadden. See, Brandon McFadden did the lights, Mr. Smiley. It was the tech guy on cues and audio. So, blessings. And what I want to talk about today is, as I said before, very serious. And I don't want to exaggerate how serious this topic is. And that is how to properly receive praise and accolades, because that's something that can really, it could really, as far as a creative person is concerned, it can really derail us if we don't know how to properly receive praise and accolades. Now, I'm just going to segue out of the Raisin in the Sun, because the thing about it was the hottest ticket in town for the past 2 weeks here in our area. I mean, it was 5 sold out shows. The little intimate theater was like sweating because they had like really got as many people in the place as possible. It was great for us to do it. It was great, the interaction with the audience, the quote-unquote standing ovations at the end of every show, people calling and texting and trying to get a ticket and waiting for cancellations. And if you're not careful, some of that stuff can be pretty heady for you. You know what I mean? To be on the receiving end of that. The reviews in the newspapers and other places were just fantastic. People who couldn't get in to see the play, hearing about it and still saying, oh, I heard you did such a great job and whatnot. You know, I mean, again, if you're not careful, it could be very dangerous. And I mean this from the smallest area community theater to Carnegie Hall. And we've seen, as creatives, we've seen this extreme, which goes from the lowest self-esteem situation where it was like, oh, well, you know, you feign some sort of humbleness because, well, you know, oh, thank you, but it wasn't me, and you kind of cower and whatnot because you don't want to receive that. That's unhealthy as well. In fact, my bishop, David L. Thomas, he talks about a situation where he was blessed by the ministry of this wonderful singer. I mean, she really it was just incredible. One of the best voices that he had ever heard. And so when he went up to, you know, congratulate her and to give her proper accolades, man, that was absolutely wonderful. You know, man, you have an amazing voice, etc. Whatever he said to her. And so, you know, she began to do the countering thing and said, oh, it wasn't me. It was all God, you know. And he said he really for a moment felt like saying, well, it wasn't that good. You know what I mean? Because if it was all God, it would have been like, boom, you know what I'm saying? But this young lady showed that she could not properly receive the praise in a healthy way that would have encouraged her and you know, cemented, but she chose to cower. I've been that person that, you know, I just didn't know how to receive it, and, you know, oh, well, thank you very much, I'm trying, and all of these things to kind of downplay, and then the person feels awkward because, you know, you're just beating yourself up in front of them. They don't know what to do because they thought whatever you did, you know, was absolutely great. And then, of course, there's that other extreme where it's just like you walk in the room knowing that you're the dude or that you're the dudette. You know that you have it, and the atmosphere is already been polluted by your ego, by your, there's confidence, but then there's cockiness. And so your cockiness has come in like, I'm about to blow this place up. And, you know, you got the raspberry, you know, M&Ms on your rider, and, you know, the Avion water, and everything is, you know, the room temperature is just like, what? And so, you know, you don't even hear the quote unquote praise or accolades of your fans or of your audience because you know it already. You know, nobody has to tell you anything because you're already there. Now, it's dangerous, and I'll say that there have been times, you know, just open confession, there have been times where I've walked in the room like, yo, we've been on a stretch, and, you know, I've done my thing, and people are saying certain things, and so the next show, I had, you know, I'm carrying that over, like, yo, well, we're gonna do the same thing, and it's unhealthy, it's unwise, and it's unnecessary. So, you know, I've had to learn from that. And the one thing that's really interesting is I heard a teaching a couple years ago, maybe several years now, from the late Dr. Miles Monroe, that really began to temper my thinking on properly receiving praise and accolades from friends, followers, fans, whatever you choose to call your audience. And he said something that was absolutely vital, because he began talking about how dangerous it becomes to our person. Because we as creatives, you know, we can get addicted to applause. We can get addicted to accolades. I mean, it becomes something to where it's a dopamine hit, and we want the attaboys and congratulations and whatnot, and we don't know how to live outside of the realm of people heaping praise on us, you know. And in many ways, it can lead to alcoholism, it can lead to drug abuse, it could lead to other forms of addiction, because when you're not getting that hit, you got to get the hit somewhere. You know, when you are no longer who you were, or when that project is over, or that season or that run has wrapped, you are like, oh, well, you know, because you were out there standing before, you know, thousands and thousands, if not millions of people, or millions of fans, and you don't know how to cope. So he said, here's what you do. And this is Dr. Miles Monroe. I'm sure you can find this teaching on YouTube or whatever, but I really learned from it, because he said what you need to understand and know is that the people are not there for you. They're there for your fruit. Understand that. They are not there for you. They are there for your gift. You have been gifted. And so when you're able to disassociate even the slightest bit, the fact that you have been anointed with a gift, whether that is to act or to sing or to play an instrument or to write and recite poetry or to author a book, or whatever the situation you have been endowed in as a creative, then you must understand that you and your gift are two separate things, and people come for the fruit. He says, and he made the very appropriate analogy, is that in the days where we had apple trees and pear trees and orange trees, I mean, you know, I grew up, I'm an old guy, I grew up and we had apple trees in our backyard, and you know, there were grapevines, and you know, we could go and pick fruit. So when you pick the fruit, one thing that you did, you took the fruit, and if there were leaves, you discarded the leaves. You did not go for the bark of the tree. You did not go for the branches or the leaves of the tree. You went for the fruit, and you took a bite of the fruit, right? And then whatever, whether there were seeds or whether there was the core of the apple or whatever that thing, the skin on the orange, you discarded what was not beneficial to you and you ate what was. And so the same thing happens when people come to your show, when they come to your recital, when they come to your performance or presentation. They are not really coming for you, the bark, the branches, and the leaves. They're coming for the fruit, and they're only going to take from the fruit what is beneficial to them. Now, it's amazing because this has been several years back. I think it was a Grammy Award or whatever. And this poor young woman, I can't even remember her name, but she won Best Song or Best Artist of the Year. You may remember this. I'm old enough to remember it. And you know, when she got to the mic to accept her award, which here's a funny thing. I just thought of this right now. It's like, I can't even remember her name, but she was Artist of the Year. You dig it? So it shows you how fast things come and things go, right? So I can't remember her name, but she said, I do remember what she said. She said, oh, you love me. You really love me. And she said that to the audience. And I don't know where she is now. I don't know what her career is now. I want to say Sheryl Crow, but I'm just being real. If somebody has, information on that, put it in the comments below and we can dialogue on it. But I don't know what her career is right now, but I do remember that statement, and I do remember how the media began to harass her, and we didn't have memes as popular as we do now. But there were things that, like, wow, because she did not divorce herself from her artistry, herself from her gift and what she was endowed in, and she really personalized it. And again, Dr. Miles Monroe correctly says that is not the way that we should handle applause or praise or accolades, because we have to know that those people only came for what was beneficial to them. It's amazing because as creatives, we know that we have this gift that we've been entrusted with, which actually, has the potential to transform someone's life, someone's perspective, someone's attitude, someone's mood, someone's perspective. We have been given that. We can change a dynamic with a chord. You could with certain chords make people, freaked out and scared to death, and with other chords make them, worship, and they are enraptured because of your gift, because of what you do. But at the core, and I know at the core who we are. At the end of the day, we're just people. I have faults, shortcomings. I have weaknesses. I have temptations. I have idiosyncrasies. I have complications that I constantly bring before my God to surrender to Him and to ask, His forgiveness over, and to confess, and just to really try to get to ground zero to the essence of who Jere is. I mean, that's what I do on a daily basis, to just try to cleanse and be filled with His presence. So I know me in and of myself, I really have nothing to offer. This gift that He's entrusted to me, then I have to walk in such a balance that when someone recognizes the gift and someone takes that fruit and thanks me for what they've been given, that I don't get it twisted, that I make sure that it's just, hey, thank you very much. Thank you for coming to the show. Thank you for hanging out with us. Whatever it is, thank you for buying the CD. Thank you for purchasing the download. Whatever it is, I'm glad it touched you. I'm glad it blessed you. But I know that it's not me, it's the it. And thank God for His mercy and grace that He sent it through me to be a blessing to them. So I really wanted to just share that with you, because you may say on the surface, well, what is this dude spending time talking about all of this? But deep inside, that can, if we don't harness it, that can be an issue. It can be a problem that can lead to some other very, very serious problems, because we don't know how to, in a very healthy way, receive proper accolades. So I want to say thank you if, whatever sound doctrine or, anything that I've been involved in that has been a blessing to you, and you've come and you've been a subscriber, and you're helping to build steam in this EntreMusician community. I want to say thank you. Thank you for being a blessing to me. And I hope and trust that the fruit that I give is ripe, it's fresh, it's beneficial, it's wholesome, and it helps you too. So if you are a fellow EntreMusician and you can feel some of that, go ahead and make a comment. I really do, I'm very interested in starting that dialogue on that tip, so that we won't be so high or so low, but we can be right here where we can be a blessing to those we minister to with our gifts. So that's it for today, I trust and pray you felt my heart on that one. I did have some trepidation about maybe even, getting this out there, but I want it to be understood. I think it is a very important topic for EntreMusicians. Peace and blessings to you. You have an incredible day. My name is Jere B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are you. Hey, we'll see you next time, okay? Much love and God bless.